Hey guys, what's up? Before I went live, I thought I'll just speak to you guys a little bit. And before we start off with whatever we do, you know, and I haven't chatted much with you guys. So at around 7:30-ish, we're going to go live with Dr. Manan Vora, and we're going to speak about the harassment and the violence the doctors have been facing right now. Manan is 26 years old and he's a very cool kid, and obviously he was impacted by this. So usually I know I do a lot of like fun live sessions, but this is something a little more serious, which I thought I should do. And I've come 2 minutes early just to like chat with you guys. So I've not spoken much with you guys. So Azim Dhyani, hi sir, hi Azim. I hope you're working on those tunes, and yeah, it's enough time that you've just sat at home, so get to work. Hi Bhakti says hi Bhakti, what's up? Also, any questions, anything that you guys want to like add on, you guys should. Like I said, we're going to go live with Manan Vora in 2 more minutes and talk about the harassment that doctors are facing right now in the country. It's a pretty serious topic and something I think we all should back them in this time. Hey Dhruv, what's up? Pawan, kaisa hai bhai? Hope you're safe, buddy. Harshvardhan, what's up? Dwayneism. Just trying to do some Dwayneism right now, Harsh. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Messi, Ronaldo. I like Messi as well. Next movie, whenever shooting can begin, I think soon rules will be announced. I'll get vaccinated soon before I start work. Farzan says hi, what's up? Okay, Sara, what's up? How's it going? So yeah, so I'm going to take Manan on right now. Try to find him first. Okay, got him. I'm going to send him a friend request. I've sent him. You guys can hear me properly, right? My family is good. My family's pretty good. Hey Manan, what's up?
Hi Varun, how are you doing?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of the entire medical community. We really appreciate you wanting to do this and giving us a platform to voice our opinion. It's obviously a very serious issue, as you just mentioned before I joined in, and it's reached a stage where it's gotten so serious that I think it's time we create some awareness and we speak up. So I really appreciate you doing this, and I hope at the end of this, together, we create some sort of awareness regarding this really serious issue.
No, definitely, Manan. And like you said, it's an extremely serious issue which needs more awareness now, and we need to speak about it. And obviously, the second wave has not been easy on anyone. I've had like at least 7 family members who got COVID during this time. I had got it during the first wave, and it's very stressful. It's extremely stressful. So I understand how families feel when this happens, but it's very unfair on the doctors who are treating you, who are heroes, and who are there day in day out trying to cure you. They're not like paying attention to their own families, and they are out there working for us. So right
Absolutely.
in the beginning, I just want Manan, I want you to introduce yourself, say how old you are, and why does this topic obviously touch a chord to you?
So, yes, I'm Dr. Manan Vora from Mumbai. I am 28 years old and I'm into orthopedics and sports medicine. This is obviously something that, means a lot to all of us in the medical community, because it's reached a point where doctors are actually wondering whether their decade-long education journey is really worth the trouble. It's reached a point where current medical students are wondering whether they've made the wrong decision. It's reached a point where those preparing for the medical entrance exam are wondering whether it's not too late to change their mind. It's even reached a point where doctor parents are probably telling their kids that, why don't you change your mind right now? So this is obviously not something we want from the country's youth. It's not something we want budding doctors to be thinking. So it's really reached a stage wherein we really need to address the issue and tell people that it's really not normal to hit doctors. It's really not normal to hit people. Firstly, forget hitting doctors. So we really need to address this. And I'm really glad that you're with me on this. So I'd like to ask you, in fact, you've obviously gone through the news and you've probably seen some of the videos. So it must be really disturbing for you as well.
So definitely, I think when I saw it like on the news the first time we heard of attacks. Recently, there's an attack in somewhere in the villages in Palghar. Then there have been attacks in Delhi, in Assam, in Madras. I mean, all over. I think all over the country, standalone, there have been small attacks. And initially, you just think they're standalone, but when they keep reoccurring, and a video recently went viral also of a family coming out and attacking a dog. What I mean, obviously, it's wrong to attack a doctor, wrong to attack anyone for that matter, and emotions run really high when you lose a family member or someone's you know really ill with this. How do you think, Manan, that like a hospital, like where doctors are working right now, they're practicing or where you're treating, how do you think a hospital can prevent it? What can they do to safeguard doctors?
So obviously we need to first identify the issue, especially since the pandemic started, COVID has come in. It's really created a lot of anxiety, fear, and uncertainty, in the minds of the patients. And these are obviously emotions. And unfortunately, frontline doctors have to face the reaction to these emotions, which are usually in the form of action and could be in the form of violence. So, when I say violence, I am talking about physical as well as psychological violence. So it also involves, abuses or threats or cyberbullying. So it is not something that should be taken lightly. When it comes to the hospitals, obviously, CCTV footage in the emergency room and ICU, which many of the hospitals have implemented, is really important because those are the areas where the chances of this happening is the most. Secondly, the other thing is that, of course, having ample security personnel. But how much can one or two security people do when you have an entire mob charging towards you? So even though you asked me about the hospital aspect, one thing I'd like to address and take a minute on is what the doctors can do. So there'll be a lot of doctors who are watching this, and while they know about consent and documentation, I would just like to talk about doctor-patient communication. I'm not saying that doctors are not communicating with patients well, but I genuinely believe that, if these skills can be improved, by the medical community and patiently explain the situation to the patient. If the situation is going south, just gradually tell them so they have some time to, process it rather than have a sudden reaction. I think it can make a really big impact. Maybe the medical colleges can include this in the curriculum. It's as important as any subject. Maybe they can have mock drills and enact the situation so that medical students are aware, how to react when it actually happens in real life. So that is something that, something that the medical community can look at. But while we introspect and look at ourselves, that what can we do, we also need to, face the fact that no reason or no factor justifies violence. So it shouldn't be happening in the first place. Fine, we can have CCTV cameras to eventually catch it when it happens, but we need to address and create awareness that why is this happening in the first place? So that is the point, we really need to discuss.
No, definitely. But I think one thing which with COVID, what people do realize with this disease is that you feel after effects even after the disease, and you've seen so many people who've, succumbed to, problems which have been caused later on. That's after like 2 weeks after being discharged or whatever, and suddenly you hear that someone has passed away.
Yeah.
It happened last year with a relative of mine, my Masi, who was in the hospital in Chicago, and she was there for like literally a month. She got later, luckily, and she was there. She got off the ventilator, then she went back on the ventilator, and then suddenly after 40 days, she passed away. There was no sign that why will it happen, how will it happen. So, I mean, there's no way to actually prepare a family for this in that sense. With
Absolutely.
This disease, but definitely you can't remove your emotion, the grief that you're going through on a doctor, because ultimately, no one's God, no one's playing God over here. Everyone's dealing with it together. How do you think moving forward? Obviously, this is one part of it. I mean, we never talk about grief counseling in our country. We don't talk about it much because at the moment, obviously, the medical community is overworked. I'd say, with
Absolutely. Yes.
Something which would help families, like you said, understand the news better and understand how to digest this news and how to, deal with it better.
Yeah, so like I said about about the communication aspect, I'm sure we have enough psychologists, psychiatrists, everyone part of the process, and they really need to be integrated into this. Along with that, medical students and young doctors need to be taught about grief counseling, about passing on negative information to a relative, and the way it needs to be done, because it's not just what you say, it's also how you say it. So, and it's also when you say it. So all of these factors really need to be taken into consideration, and people need to be trained in that particular manner. Again, I feel, we are going back to discussing what doctors should be doing and what the hospital should be doing. And while that's obviously very important for the young doctors, we really need to talk about the awareness. We need to tell people that hitting isn't normal. You can't go about hitting doctors. You can't go about abusing them. You can't go about thinking that if I raise my voice, I will be heard. So another major factor for this, Varun, is that most of the hospitals will be overworked, especially since the pandemic. Obviously, most of these cases do take place in the government hospitals, which are generally understaffed when it comes to doctors, and they are overworked because of the population. The doctor-patient ratio is never going to be great in a country like India. So everyone needs to understand to, calm down. You may have to wait by the time you get to speak to the doctor. You may have to wait until your patient is attended to. And this doesn't mean that the doctor is being negligent. It doesn't mean that the doctor is not interested. He's just got his hands full. The doctors are working 24, 36, 48-hour shifts in these hospitals, and they're trying their best. So they just need to be patient. Another aspect is the financial angle. So, a lot of India is obviously rural, people from smaller cities and towns. And I don't know if you know this, but just 33% of the healthcare expenditure is borne by the government. So the rest is borne by people themselves. And obviously, modern medicine isn't cheap. As you get newer equipment, you get newer technology, you get newer medicines, the cost of healthcare is going to rise. And eventually, it is going to improve the life expectancy. So you want modern medicine. So people need to understand that it is just part of the process. Now, when they eventually get their bills, it completely pushes them into, a financial burden, and they are now into debt. So that is another reason for the resentment and the anger, and that's when they have their entire outrage as well. So there are a lot of factors which...
Ask you if you can say the same thing again once in Hindi also, because I want this to reach as many. ये बहुत लोगों तक पहुंचे, बहुत important है ये बात. हिंदी में और हिंदी लोग बात करेंगे तो बेहतर होगा, क्योंकि लोग वाइड पहुंचेगा, सबको पहुंचेगा.
Yes, it's not a language I'm great at, but I'm going to try my best. So लोगों को understand करने की जरूरत है कि ये जो medicine अभी जो evolve हो रहा है, जो progress कर रहा है, so उसके cost obviously increase होने वाले हैं. This is not something, ये चीज नहीं है जो डॉक्टर के हाथ में है, ये चीज नहीं है जो हॉस्पिटल और हेल्थ केयर के स्टाफ के हाथ में है. तो उनके ऊपर आप जब गुस्सा होंगे, उनके ऊपर आप जब लैश आउट करेंगे, अटैक करेंगे, दैट इज नॉट जस्टिफाइड. ये बात एब्सोल्युटली सही नहीं है और ये बात नहीं होनी चाहिए. सो दिस इज समथिंग दैट एवरीवन नीड्स टू एब्सोल्युटली एक्सेप्ट. What do you think, Varun? Do you think that we are being overreacting, or do you think we deserve to be heard? What do you think?
मुझे बिल्कुल नहीं लग रहा है कि हम लोग ये चीज को लेके ओवर रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं. ये बहुत ही दुख भरी बात है कि हम लोग इसके बारे में हमें बात करना पड़ रहा है और अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करना पड़ रहा है. डॉक्टर आज के टाइम में, हमेशा के टाइम से डॉक्टर हमारे लिए भगवान, और इस वक्त तो मतलब डॉक्टर के ऊपर कुछ नहीं है हमारे लिए. अगर हम लोग बीमार पड़ते हैं, अगर आपके घर में कोई बीमार पड़ता है तो उसे ठीक करने वाला कौन होता है? डॉक्टर होता है. और वो डॉक्टर मतलब अपने घर पे अपने फैमिली मेंबर से नहीं मिल रहा है, वो जाके इन्फेक्टेड पेशेंट से मिल रहा है, रोज उन्हें ट्रीट कर रहा है. पीपी किट में मतलब 8-8, 10-10, 12-12 घंटे डॉक्टर्स काम कर रहे हैं बिना ब्रेक लिए, पीपी किट में 2-2 डबल मास्क लगा के. और फिर वो लोग घर आते हैं, और जब केसेस उनकी तरफ नहीं जाते और शायद किसी की मृत्यु हो जाती है, उसके बाद हम लोग उनको अटैक करते हैं. ये बहुत ही गलत बात है.
Exactly. Now that you've brought it up, and I did mention,
लोगों को ये समझना चाहिए कि ये उनकी गलती नहीं है, ये डॉक्टर्स की.
exactly.
वो लोग ये जो डिजीज है, इट्स टू न्यू. पीपल आर स्टिल अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि हम इसके साथ कैसे डील करें. ये मेडिसिन सही है. ऑब्वियसली वैक्सीनेशन बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर आपको वैक्सीन मिल रही है, प्लीज वो वैक्सीन लीजिए. आप लोग वैक्सीन लगाना बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो बट डॉक्टर्स पे, you can't harass doctors, you can't attack doctors. You can't do that.
Absolutely. And Varun, You mentioned, sorry to interrupt you, but you mentioned Dr. Bhagwan hote hai ya Bhagwan ka roop hote hai. And I did mention this yesterday that we don't want that. Either we are, treated as gods and we're put on a pedestal, or we hear incidences like these which happen. We need to find that middle ground. We need to find that balance. We don't want to be treated as gods. Don't put us on that level. We want to be treated as human beings. We want to be treated absolutely normally how you treat people of other profession. And we are absolutely okay with that. And I don't think asking for that or appealing for that is a very, very big thing to do. I hope you agree with me.
No, I totally agree with you. And one last thing I want to ask you, being a 28-year-old doctor, a young doctor who's, in your profession, obviously seeing things like that, it pains my heart. It obviously definitely must be hurting you. You must be discussing this with your colleagues. If one thing you want to say, Manan, because you're a very positive guy, like I've seen or whatever, I've interacted with you a little bit. You're an extremely positive guy. So what I want you to give out one message to all the young doctors in your fraternity, people who are studying, people who aspire to become doctors, जो छोटे बच्चे शायद जो डॉक्टर बनना चाहते हैं, क्यों इतना जरूरी है डॉक्टर बनना?
So the only message I'd like to tell them that while you keep hearing about these things in the news, and while these incidences unfortunately do happen, you need to go back to that initial thought. You need to go back to that initial thing which told you in your mind that you want to be a doctor. You need to go back to that first reason. You need to have faith and belief in it, because at the end of it, yes, it is a noble profession. It is something that is going to make you feel great. The job satisfaction is very high, even though instances like this and incidents like this really make you feel low. But then again, it's going to be a journey full of highs and lows. So I would really request that people don't give up on that dream. Meanwhile, we have to work together on this issue, and with people like yourself who have now come up and shown your support. Likewise, if we have other people who are influential and really stand by us, I think we can slowly really bring about a change. I know you and I are not lawmakers, Varun, you and I are not government people. You and I cannot implement things and get it done immediately. But what you and I can do is create that awareness. You and I can tell people, listen, it's not normal to do this. You need to understand that. It's not normal to beat doctors or any other healthcare staff for that matter. So as long as we start that process, as long as we begin creating awareness, I think we're already one step ahead than we were yesterday, and that's the most important thing.
Do you think this is somewhere like a normal thing, or it's become, if you don't react to this topic or don't have this conversation now, it is something that could become normal, and we might...
So Varun, it's already become normal. Very, very honestly, let me ask you this. Okay, how many percentage of doctors do you think have gone through violence at some point in their life? Can you give me a percentage? 10, 20, 30? What do you think?
I mean, in our country, which is so vast, I mean, if I had to guess...
Percentage. It's a percentage.
Hoping it's 10%.
10%. The answer is 75%, Varun. That's 3 out of 4 doctors, according to an Indian Medical Association study, who claim that they have experienced some form of violence in their life. Now, can you comprehend this? Can you imagine going to work and thinking that aaj mujhe maar pad sakti hai? Imagine trying to work with dedication and devotion in a workplace which is anyway helping people, when you have this fear of violence and this stress of something going wrong constantly at the back of your mind. It's definitely not a peaceful situation. It's definitely not an ideal situation. So creating awareness about this is just the first step. But I mean, if we create the awareness, if we educate people that it's wrong, if the rules and the punishments are more strict and people are aware as to what the punishment is. Like for example, today people do know that murder or rape hua to mera kya ho sakta hai. As of now, you don't know that if I do violence against a doctor, mere saath kya ho sakta hai. So we need to make people aware of this, that this is what can happen to you if you do this. And once that awareness also sets in, hopefully the number of times it happens will only reduce. So rather than constantly thinking about what do we do, how do we serve justice, we need to look at the prevention aspect of it as well and try to prevent these instances from happening in the first place.
No, definitely. I hope कि the idea behind doing this Insta Live was to just create awareness. Awareness create करने के लिए Dr. Manan Vora came on this platform with me, and आप सबने सुना कि वो क्या कह रहे हैं, क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं, and he's sounding extremely hurt, and I'm sure कि बहुत लोग जो medical बहुत सारे डॉक्टर्स जो इतने मतलब सालों से मेडिसिन प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, और स्पेशली ये 1.5 year जब से हम लोग कोरोना के साथ डील कर रहे हैं, how hurt they must be and how difficult उनके families के लिए होगा ये चीज़. से डील करने के लिए. तो होप कि आप लोग ये समझ रहे हैं और कहीं कहीं आप लोग भी मदद करेंगे स्प्रेड करने में. Thank you, Manan. Anything you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to just say? Well,
Nothing, Varun. Once again, thank you so much for helping me with this platform and trying to raise our voice. I hope you continue supporting this, or continue being vocal about this, because this is just the first step. This is nothing. So I hope together we can try and bring about some change, at least in people's mindset, at least in people's perception. I don't know if we can change laws. I don't know if we can implement things. But as long as we create awareness and as long as we try and bring about a change in the mindset, I think we've already done something. So thank you so much for that, and I really appreciate it.
no, definitely, definitely. This is the first time I am also talking about such a serious topic. Because usually when I come online, I'm fooling with people or I'm having fun, and it was honestly very educational and very nice to hear what you had to say. And there has to be a change. There's so many things that a lot of us in like young India want to change, and the first step is going to be speaking out and communicating and saying it. So I'm glad a 28-year-old doctor is appealing to all of us. So I hope we all hear it. Thanks, man.
Thank you so much, Varun. I really appreciate it. Take care.
I have to just save this live. Do you know how to save it?
Yeah.
Do you know how to save it, Manan? What do I do to save this?
I think you just end the live, and I think you'll get the options then for download. I'm not sure. Okay, see you.
Bye.
Bye. See you.